Hey folks, I'm Rob.
And I'm Nathan.
And I'm Steve.
And we are Two Guys in a Ride. And say, Nate, tell us where we're at today.
Hey, today we are at the beautiful Chanhassen Autoplex in Chanhassen, Minnesota. And we are going to take you on a virtual car tour. And we're going to go through about 6 to 8 garages here, meet the owners, take a look at the whole garage, take a look at the cars they have on there. And it's going to be great.
And Steve, why don't you give us a little bit of information about what's going on here?
Well, our Cars and Cave shows happen the last Saturday of every month from April through September. As we all know, April has been canceled out here, but we've got the virtual car show with Two Guys in a Ride helping us out, and you're going to see some great garages today. I might add that during our car shows, we always give back to the community. We have a charity for each one of our 6 car shows. The first one is a really good one. They're back with us for a second year. It's Treehouse. The mission of Treehouse Hope is to end hopelessness among teens through mentorship, support groups, or off-site activities which create safe environments where teens can be themselves and have fun. So there will be a link on the website to donate. Please donate generously. It's a great cause. We help a lot of teens, and so please donate. Thank you.
All right, so what do you say, Steve and Nate?
Oh, let's go for a ride.
All right.
Hey folks, I'm Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and today we're stepping into another beautiful garage here in the Chanhassen Autoplex, and we are with Gene, or as we know him, Jaguar Gene. So Gene, thanks for letting us take a tour of your garage.
You're welcome. It's always fun to have you guys out here.
Well, thank you. And turning around right behind me, of course, we'll talk about the garage in a minute, but this is sitting right out in the middle. I can't help it. Gene, this is one you're selling, actually.
Correct.
So tell us about this and what's been modified, what's been done.
Sure. Well, this is a 64 E-Type or XKE fixed head coupe, and it's been modified. It's resto mod. So it's not just a crate. It's not just a conversion as far as the engine goes. Everything from head to toe. All new electronics. Engine, the entire interior is custom. If you take a look at the dash in there, beautifully done, a lot of money spent. And, you know, as you know, I've got a small business, Jag Connection. We assist people in buying and selling Jags. And this is a customer of ours that asked us to sell this car. And it's a 302 crate engine, Ford engine. What did we decide? 265 horsepower. Mm-hmm. And beautifully done.
Yeah, it is just a stunning car. The lines on this are so beautiful. I love how you've decorated the interior to match the James Bond theme.
Sure. Yeah, we got the James Bond figure, the gun that he used in most of the movies.
Driver's license.
Driver's license down to the Bollinger champagne bottle.
Yes.
That you typically saw him with.
Yes.
When he had a female companion with him in the car.
All right, so let's step over. Actually, let's just turn around because we've got one of your, probably your. What I think this one's the oldest one. Yeah.
Yes, it's the oldest. What is it? Yeah, it's the oldest car we have in here today.
Okay, so tell us about this beautiful classic.
This is a '63 fixed head coupe. Excuse me, Roadster. What am I saying? '63 Roadster, all original. Bought it from the original owner. I met the owner about 25 years ago, well, maybe closer to 30 years ago now, and tried to buy it. He wasn't going to sell it to me, but 25 years later, his wife called me, mentioned that he had passed away, and then he sold the car to me. And so we kept it all original. We rebuilt everything. We took the engine out. Everything came apart, but we didn't disturb any of the dirt or even the rust. We actually preserved the car by putting rust inhibitor on all the rust, but everything's been rebuilt mechanically, electrical, mechanical, and it just runs like a new car.
Now, if I remember right, part of the underbody is wood.
No, not on this car.
Okay, that is on the green one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a neat aspect. If you ever come out of Gene's garage, just put your head on the floor and take a look underneath that green one.
The Morgan is, as long as we're talking about the green one, the Morgan is also a preservation car, sometimes known as a survivor, and sometimes they call them barn finds. But again, I found the Morgan from the original owner. This was last year. And I personally am not into Morgans. I'm a Jaguar guy.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with the patina again because it's all original paint and everything. And when I asked my mechanic about the car, it was sitting in his shop when I was up there one day in St. Cloud. And I said, tell me about this car. He said, well, it's the original owner. He's asked us to get the car running. And he says it's fairly rare. And so I took the VIN number, did a little homework, and found out it was one of 42 made worldwide.
Oh, wow.
And they say there's 11 left in the world, known to be left. I found number 12 in St. Cloud, Minnesota. And this guy had bought the thing brand new in '67. And it's never been raced, although it was built for competition.
Wow, what a fascinating story. So, wow. And then and you find it here in St. Cloud.
Yes.
That's just amazing. All right, moving on over, you've got just a slightly newer, I'm guessing like a 1967 Jag.
A little newer than that.
Oh, a little newer. All right, tell us about this beauty.
This one is my daily driver. And so it's basically just put in here because I ran out of room back home. I have another car back home. But this is a XK Jaguar 2009. And what more can you say? It's a nice car, though.
It is a beautiful car. I love the hips as it goes back like that. It's just is fantastic. And then, of course, between the two windows, the front and the rear windows, it's almost seamless. There's no pillar,
Right.
so it creates the illusion of being a much bigger window.
Yes.
All right.
Bigger over the years.
So let's talk about this E-Type here, and then we'll talk about some of your motorcycles.
Okay. This one is a 74 E-Type. It's the last year of the E-Types. It's got a removable hardtop, so there is a convertible top underneath here. And basically that's it. As the E-Types, newer ones, they got newer, they got bigger. So typically your later E-Types have the V12 engine. From 71 through 74, they put the V12 engine in it. And the car was slightly bigger than the previous E-Types. But what most people don't understand, they're not as quick as the earlier ones, like the one we talked about over here.
Right, the red one. Yeah.
Right, the red one. It's just like me. When I get bigger and fatter, I get slower. And that's the case in this car. It got a little bigger, air conditioning, power steering, emissions, and all of that slowed the car down somewhat, not much. Both cars will do about the same top end. The early sixes will get there faster. A little quicker acceleration.
Okay, beautiful. Again, beautiful lines. I absolutely love the looks of these. Now, Gene, we haven't seen this before in another garage. Gene also collects some motorcycles, and some of them have some fantastic stories to them. But Gene, why don't you just kind of walk us through one or two of your bikes here?
I started collecting motorcycles when I was in high school, and I have a smaller museum in my basement at home, and I bring some of them out here to display here in the garage. And basically what we have here, mostly British bikes, just like the cars. I've been into British bikes and cars my whole life. I'm an industrial designer, so things don't need to run well, but they better damn well look good.
Yeah.
And so this happens to be a bike that I designed. I'd always wanted to design my own bike, and so I started with a 61 Triumph engine, and everything else is customized and fabricated from scratch.
Wow, and you did that. That's just beautiful.
Well, I designed it, but Donnie Smith, and most people in the motorcycles know who Donnie Smith is. Donnie Smith actually built it for me. And you see his name down on the tank, down in the lower, below the tank there. So it is Donnie Smith bike. I'll show you here. Way down here. And so he fabricated the bike, and great people to work with. The other bikes, you got a Aero Square 4, a 56, largest British bike built in the 50s. BSA came in and bought Aero, and then they shut the company down. But it was nicknamed the Rolls Royce of motorcycles because it's very heavy and very quiet. It's got 4 cylinders, and that's where it got its name, sure. Aero Square 4, because the cylinders are in the shape of kind of a square pattern.
Okay.
The bike up on top, the bench there, that's a 32 Indian 4. Very rare, only a couple hundred ever built. And what can I say, inline 4 cylinder motorcycle, and possibly one of the nicest left in existence. I had the pleasure of meeting Jay Leno here a couple years ago, and he saw my collection, and he happens to have an Indian Square 4. He's got a 33, which would mean it's basically identical to mine. But he agreed it was probably the nicest one he's ever seen. But he's smarter than I am. I sit around and polish them. He takes them out and enjoys them. Beyond that is a Moto Guzzi, 52 Moto Guzzi. It's just a cool, fun-looking bike. A friend of mine here in town was selling it, and I decided to buy it. The one beyond that, you guys have talked to me about that before. That's a very special bike. It's 49 International Norton. And my dad raced a 49 Norton in 49, and they were never exported to the United States. So there's not a lot of them made. But my father happened to get a hold of one back in 49. He raced out of Detroit, Michigan. And I picked this one up a few years ago, and this one's a special bike. It was owned and raced by the factory, by Norton Corporation, for the first 5 years of its life, by a very well-known racer who was very well-known in Europe by the name of Ian Paskin. And I had the pleasure of, my wife and I actually went to Europe, and we met with Ian and learned a lot about this motorcycle.
And if you want to find out more about that whole story, we have a video on our channel. Just look down below and through the Autorama collection, and you will see us having a video on that particular motorcycle, and Gene tells the whole story, and it's it's really neat.
It's cool.
All right, so now, obviously, J Connection is your business, so that's why you've got it decorated out here. I do like, this is kind of like a showroom almost, with all of the lighting that you have.
Yes.
Up in here. Was that kind of the purpose?
That was the idea. We just put those lights up probably about 5 months ago. So they weren't here the last time you were in here. But we put it up because, like you said, I'm trying to create a showroom type environment.
Right. You've got a business to run, and I imagine sometimes people come in here to take a look at the cars.
Right. Generally, we have one sitting center front that's for sale.
Okay. Now, and in addition to that, you do have a fridge. You've got some cabinet storage back here, and you've got a very small, like a loft storage area up there.
Right.
Right. That's as far as it goes, is where the walls meet.
That's right. We bought this garage. It was a drive-through, so it was twice this size, and so the loft was bigger. And I had the wall put up, and then I sewed the back half.
Okay.
So it didn't tempt me to buy more cars. And I kept this half, also had a bathroom in it. So.
And so this one that has the bathroom underneath. Right. Okay. And then you actually got storage underneath your stairs as well, which is really nice.
It comes in handy. You can never have enough storage.
And then over here you've got some more chairs and some lamps and sitting areas for people.
Yes, that's right. The picture over there is a picture of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, my favorite place away from home. My wife and I go there every year to the largest vintage sports car races in the United States. And it's usually held every year, the 3rd week of July. This year they're talking about the 4th week of July, and we're hoping that's still going to happen with the coronavirus. But back in when those races started in the early 50s, they raced through the streets. So that's what you see in that picture. And then they built the largest racetrack in the United States, which still is the largest one, which is Road America. And this will be our 33rd year in a row.
Wow.
We go every year, and I'm not into racing. I just go because I love the people, the cars, the environment, and the town of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin is the most beautiful resort town you're ever going to see. And we've fallen in love with that town. So this year we plan to go for 2 weeks. And it's just a lot of fun people, a lot of excitement. And they have 2 large shows, one on Friday night for the race cars, one on Saturday night for spectators. And that's what we usually put a car into.
You know, Gene, since you're going to be gone for 2 weeks, if you need someone to exercise any of the cars, Rob and I will be around.
All right.
You just let us know.
All right, we will. We'll call you. You don't need to call us.
All right. Gene, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful garage and part of your collection here that you have in the showroom. On behalf of Two Guys Ride, thanks so much.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, too.